Transmission begin. I am Alfarius. I am a happy boy. It's Monday morning. It's more like Monday afternoon, but that's okay. I had a great weekend. Most importantly, I am in the Hydra Factory. We're just doing a little spin around here. Kind of happy. There's my paint station. Here's some storage, my camera, my paint rack that hasn't been filled yet, everything like that, my airbrush. But I am here, finally, after many weeks of my father and I working on this basement renovation. I am done. As you noticed, I didn't have any furniture yet. It is arriving tonight, but I got my desk set up for the most part. I still have some stuff left to do. And but I really wanted to just get in here to get myself painting again. Now that my chaos is finished, I had thought of playing in the tournament. Well, I'm going to recap my weekend. So Saturday, mini Astronomicon that happened at the Gamers Lair in Barrie. We had 8 people show up, so I was very happy with that. I think I expected 4 to 6 people. 8 people, fully painted armies. And one of the individuals, who will remain nameless, came up to me and said how much better the tournament looked because of all the painted armies. And my response was, yes, it's so nice to not see a sea of gray or a sea of white or black primer. So it was very successful. The one comment that I want to make about the new Astronomicon scenarios is they are tougher than nails. The average point that every player basically was getting was 4 or 5 points per game. In the new Astronomicon scenarios, there is no more win-loss draw, so you just accumulate your battle points. Now, I don't know if it's because in our meta we know each other fairly well, and the armies are fairly balanced with one another. We're not all amazing generals, and we have fairly even matches that happen. But even our really tactical individuals, at the end of 4 turns, the 2 individuals that had tied for the most battle points, they were sitting at 20. You can get 15 per game, just to put that out there. So they had scored, our top generals, 20 out of a possible 60 battle points. Those are the top 2 individuals. I walked out with 8. I had one game that I played against Boone where I scored 0, he scored 1. And at the end of it, we both had 5 models left on the board. It was a bloodbath. But because we didn't have any of the objectives, we didn't get any battle points. To put that into perspective, from a normal standard mission, it would have been classified as a tie, and we would have both got 7 points. Now, what does this do? It really doesn't do a lot for the battle point section, because everyone's scoring the same amount, but it puts a huge emphasis on having a painted army. Guess who won best overall? This guy. Do you know why? Because I got almost full points for my painting. I had a display board. I was one of 2 individuals that actually put time into making a display board. I had a well-painted army. I took an army that I only took a -2 to army compositions. There was an individual there that had a -8 or a -9 for his army composition, which in the long run, I mean, that's 8-point difference between him and I. That's a game. So I won best overall, and I know I didn't win because I won my games. In all fairness, if it had been a win-loss draw game, I think I would have walked out with 2 ties and 2 losses, which in a standard tournament isn't going to get you anywhere. But it's the reason why I love these Astronomicon things, because I'm a hobbyist and I enjoy the painting aspect of everything, and I put some time into it. I'm not going to lie. I've spent the past 3 months painting my army, and I would have been content with best presentation. However, I won best overall because of where the point values lied for the battle points. So I'm beating this with a dead horse. Anyways, I did know that there was a lot of changes that can be made to my army. I lack a lot of anti-air and or anti-tank from long range. So I contemplated, oh, well, why don't I just take out my Mauler Fiends and put in a couple of Havoc squads or a squad of Obliterators, and then this, and then it completely changed the dynamic of my army. It meant that I would have to take out my Spawn and Lord on Bike and change them out for something else. It meant I had to take out my Mauler Fiends and change them out for something else. And I'm basically back to square 2 or 3, where I have to paint a whole buttload of models in the next month. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not happy with that. I'm happy with the army that I have. Sure, I didn't win every game, but it looked beautiful. And that's what mattered to me at that point. And I think that if I try to overthink this and get overcomplicated, I'm going to regain that competitive edge that I once had and disliked how I turned out to be. So I want to go, I want to have fun, I want to win. Best presentation, I think, is what I'm looking for, or place at least in that presentation. There are some beautiful painters that end up at Astronomicon. Jonathan Tung, I believe is his last name. My apologies. Royce Caverly. He's actually a friend of a friend. We're acquaintances. We know each other. We talk, but I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. James McBeath. He's got a beautiful painted Eldar army, and I can't wait to see what he does next. So there's a lot of really, really talented painters there. And if I could even place amongst them, I'd be really happy with that. I know I'm not going to win best overall, but like I said before, placing top 10 and maybe placing in the best presentation, I'm happy with that. So moving on, Sunday morning, we went and did Scari's campaign. Let me tell you something. The buzz when I walked into this place was electrifying. There was only 5 or 6 individuals that showed up for it because that's all they had painted. They were the only ones that had painted stuff, and it was 6. My apologies. There was 6 individuals, and we had so much fun. Scary decided that he was going to do this big sort of precursor where we had a large map. I want to say it was 12 by 8, 12 by 6, something like that. And basically, it was the forces of order versus the forces of disorder. So good guys versus bad guys. And we had a huge battle where each one of the generals brought 500 points of a force organization. So we needed our warlord, 2 troop choice minimum. And then we fought out a game, and Scary had given each of us secret objectives that we had to obtain. So I think everybody pretty much got their objectives. They weren't like, oh, you've got to destroy 3 different armies. Like, they were pretty achievable, and we all achieved them. And we had a lot of fun. But what this did is it developed some alliances, and it developed a lot of grudge matches. There's an Ekron player out there who has my eye on him because I'm going to do everything I possibly can to undermine every move he makes because he stabbed me in the back. And one thing you guys should learn is you never stab an Alpha Legion member in the back. It's going to come and bite you in the ass so hard you won't even know what happened. I did forge alliance with individuals on the other team. Is that a little Alpha Legion for you? I think so. So, needless to say, we had a great, awesome time. A lot of people were really happy for this campaign, and we thank Scary so much for it. He has put so much time and effort into this. He had like write-ups, everything like that. It was awesome. So, what is coming up for Alfarius in the next couple of weeks? I have purchased and I've purchased my Eldar Codex. I purchased one of the jet fighters that I've turned into the Crimson Hunter, I believe that's what they're called. I put together a mock army list that I'm going to do temporarily. There's a lot of really awesome stuff in the Eldar Codex. I'm really pleased with it. Alex and Chris. Alex is from Film Freaks Game Geeks, and Chris is just one of our good friends at the Gamers Lair. He plays Eldar a lot. The 3 of us are going to sit down in the next week or so and do a Codex review, sort of our wins, our losses from the actual Codex itself. And I'm looking forward to doing this. I'm sure that Alex will post something on the Eternal Warriors website, everything like that. So I've done up a mock list, and I'm actually just about to start painting. My jet fighter just came back from the priming facilities, and I will start painting him when this video is finished, basically. So I'm going to really push this. Mikey Dolman from the Dork Lords put out a message the other day saying if there's any Eldar players that want to play a game with their 6th edition, then let's do it. There's a Dork Lords tournament, doubles tournament, that Scari's asked to team up with me, so we are probably end up doing a Meldar and my Eldar and his Dark Eldar, and we're going to ruin everybody. That's what the plan is, at least. Anyways, I will keep you posted on how my painting comes along. And this time, I think because I'm actually in a good facility now and I have ample lighting, that when I finish a model, I'll probably take a picture of it and do previews on the actual channel itself, and we'll see what happens. So thank you very much for sticking with me on this one. It was a long one, but I will probably do another post once this model is finished, or if something else major is coming up. You all have yourselves a good week, and I'll catch you next time. I am Alfarius, transmission end.